Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear audience, Assalamu alaikum. I welcome you all to today's New Bangladesh. Here, as usual, we shall discuss new citizens, new culture, new policies, new business, new science, new technology, overall New Bangladesh. Today in our studio, as our guest present, two very much renowned persons. One is a teacher in university, Mr. Raihan Kibria, and another one is a renowned lawyer and a banker as well, Mr. Asheq Rahman.
Thank you, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. How are you, sir? Well, at the very beginning, I would like to request you to tell us about you in brief. Please, Dr. Raihan, sir, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ramit, for inviting me. I'm very glad to be here with Mr. Russell as well. And I'm glad that actually we started this platform. Lots of people are watching, and they're telling that they're learning a lot about New Bangladesh. So you asked me to tell me about myself. So I'm basically a computer scientist, so I'm working as a faculty member in University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh. And I'm a product of Bangladesh because I did HSC and SSC from Kumila Cadet College. And I did well in both exams. I stood 5th in the combined merit list. So I was given a scholarship by the government of India to study Bachelor's of Technology of Computer Science. And before that, I also got admitted to Dhaka Medical College. I studied there for about 2.5 months. And after I did my undergrad in India in computer science, I came back home. And back then there was a rule that if you go for higher studies, you have to come back and work for Bangladesh for 5 years. So I fulfilled that. I also came back and I worked first as a lecturer in Khulna University. I worked there for a year, and then I moved to Dhaka, and here I worked as a programmer in Election Commission, and also I did an MBA parallelly. And after that, I worked for nearly 3 years, so I fulfilled that 5 years obligation, and then I went for a master's in the US. I did master's in the US on information systems, and then I also secured a full-time permanent job. So I worked there for about 2 years, and then I came back home to give my service to the local industry. I worked in the industry for nearly 10-15 years, 15 plus years, and then I moved to academia permanently. So now I am a senior lecturer of University of Liberal Arts, Bangladesh, Computer Science. That's about me.
Thank you, sir. Please, about you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramit, for having me in this wonderful open dialogue. So my name is Asheq Rahman, and as brother said, my nickname is Russell. So I'm basically graduate from University of Dhaka in economics, BS and MS, BSS honors and MSS. Then I did my MBA in finance and IT from Oklahoma City University. Then I also pursued MSS in accounting in Oklahoma State University, Stillwater. I'm a certified anti-money laundering specialist. I'm an ICA, and apart from that, I have about 7 certifications in IT and various audit fields. I started my career with KLM as an IG, and then after that, in various industries, which includes IT, and then also it includes academia. I was a lecturer back in 2005 in IUB, and then I was in project management. I was the project head, QA head for Warid International in Bangladesh, and then I joined banking industry, and then of late I just came out of NCC Bank as a DMD. Before that, I was with CTNA. I was Chief Anti-Money Laundering Compliance Officer and Chief Country Compliance Officer, and was a part of the Global Product and Legal team. Before that, I was with Stancy as Country Head of FCC and MLRO. And before that, I was with Bragg Bank, which is more or less involved in social business. And I was Head of ICC and Regulatory Affairs. And I'm blessed with a daughter, Athena Rahman. She's doing her IB in UWC Atlantic. And my wife, she is a faculty member in North-South University. And that's about it.
Thank you, sir. Dear audience, our today's topic is July Revolution. Today we are having the month of July, and probably 1 year passed after that great July Revolution. And I know that both of you are the participants of this July Revolution. So I'd like to ask you, Mr. Kibria first, why did you participate in this revolution?
Well, I wouldn't say that I participated voluntarily. What happened is when I'm in touch, I was in touch with the students all the time. So as a middle-aged person, what happened to us is actually we are all the time we are busy with our profession. So I was busy with teaching, research, and so on. I was not really paying much attention, like other people, to what is happening around. What happened during the month of last July, especially after seeing all these footages, especially after the killing of Abu Said, I was shaken to my core. And I just couldn't believe that so much atrocity is being committed in broad daylight. And what especially shook me is the eagerness of the young people. I saw that 10-year-old, 5-year-old, they are voicing their opinion, and they are not really caring for their lives. And at that point, I was started questioning myself, why I am so settled in my life. Is it actually life that worth living? And so basically from the students' eagerness and from the students' their desperation, something grew inside of me. And although I was aware of all the illegal activities or the immoral activities of the past regime, what actually drove me to active participation was actually students' involvement and to see the desperation of the people on the street. One day actually I was going to my university, and then I found that the street was full of people, not only students. There were people from all walks of life, some CNG driver, and I actually had an opportunity to talk to one of them. And he was saying that actually he doesn't care about his life at that point. And he said that he actually came from another place the other day, because he's not actually focused on his CNG driving, he's focused on where actually he can go and participate. So those kind of things actually motivated me. I'm sure those also motivated you as well.
Yes, I remember the day. 18 July probably, we were discussing about this revolution, coming revolution. And our students were at the gate of the university, and they were having a peaceful demonstration. At first they had a peaceful demonstration. Later it became violent. So thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Asheq Rahman, sir, you are also a participant of the July Revolution. And I remember one day we met you in the street of Dhaka. During the curfew, yes. I was breaking the curfew. You were also breaking the curfew. Well, sir, please tell me about your motivation to participate in this revolution, sir.
See, as an English lawyer, I think everybody has right to protest. And this is supported by the human rights. This is also supported from our constitution that is in place at this point in time. Though the constitutional reform is a vital part which needs to be done, as to my opinion. So what happened, people got pissed off because basic human rights is you have the right to vote, and you have the right that the vote needs to be counted for changes in the government. So I think these fundamental rights were avoided for a long time, maybe for decades or so. And the Gen Z, my daughter even wrote during her birthday, 16 July, she wrote Jade July. So I had a read, and it was like depicting the genocide that has been done on the street. And my daughter was in the street as well, there with their friends. And then we had no other way but we went down to protect her. And then we also informed our friends who are in law enforcement and various agencies that I think whatever you do, there are rights of the police for their own protection. At the same time, the civilian, the citizen of the country has human rights to protest. So there needs to be a balance. And then we try to convince everybody in our capacity that justice is delivered and justice is done. And by the grace of this thing happened. And I think this is a turning point for Bangladesh. And if we can harness the energy of this particular piece of revolution, the country will go a long way inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah. Mr. Kibria, I would like to ask you that now people are discussing about it, that whether it was a revolution or not. So, what is your opinion about this?
I think that the question that you're asking is actually very much relevant and it's in everyone's mind. How to define what has happened. And if you ask about a revolution, most people, Bangladesh is actually a very young country compared to other states. So in Europe, the states have been existing for 400 years, 500 years. So people like to translate or interpret this upheaval against the backdrop of French Revolution or American Revolution. I think it's a little bit of misattempt, I should say. Why? Because if you search the internet, what is meant by revolution, you will find that there are definitions of revolutions. But whether that definition fits in our context is the question. So if we analyze a little bit, you'll find that if you think of revolution, people will say, revolution means overthrow of the existing government, existing structure. And how can we define a revolution? In a revolution, there should be mass uprising, things like that. And how it happens, why does it happen? Maybe discrimination, maybe a new political idea, things like that. However, if you compare, if you judge our upheaval against the same revolution, some people may say, okay, it's not a revolution because actually the change of power hasn't gone to the revolutionaries. Okay, in French Revolution, what happened is every revolutionary got hold of the power, but in our country, the revolutionary or the upheaval people, they have actually put in place a person like Dr. Yunus, who is not a revolutionary. So how can you say whether it's a revolution or not? So my take on this is actually, I should say that we should not judge against the definition of revolution that the Western countries or the advanced economies, the advanced democracies, they are telling us to do. I think we should interpret it like this. It's not only a revolution, but it is a hyper revolution. Why? Because in revolutions are defined by the people or protesters who are normal people. But our revolution here, we have young people, 5 or 7 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. So they have been able to change the government as well as all the other people who are involved. And still, why shouldn't we call it a revolution? I think we should call it a hyper revolution in that sense, because the change of government has happened. So I think we should see it in that light, with that lens.
Thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Asheq Rahman, since you are an English lawyer, at the same time you are a banker, so what the impacts may be of this revolution in banking sector and in legal sector?
Appreciate it. So actually, whenever some sort of revolution takes place, as rightly mentioned, so what happens is there is a shake in the whole environment. So that dust needs to get settled down. So that takes time. At the same time, the leadership that is in position, it's a situational leadership. And the demand for situational leadership is to stabilize the macroeconomy. And unfortunately, what happens is whenever there is a revolution, country like ours, what happens is international investment, it gets a little bit slowed down. So that is what is happening in Bangladesh. Though our BIDA chief advisor and Asheq, Mr. Asheq, they're trying their best to get the ball rolling. At the same time, finance minister, advisor, and central bank is taking various steps. But what is happening in reality is that investors are shaky, and because of that, our domestic resource mobilization has a little bit shy at this point in time, and this is having a ratchet effect in everybody. Like whether you are rich in the top segment, or whether you are in the semi-rich segment, or whether you are in the middle class, or you are in the lower class. So what is happening? Everybody is thinking, okay, let's try and let's see what happens. So I think at this point in time, there should be a clear guideline from the revolutionary government that is in place, that these are the things that you have to give a project plan, like trajectory, that this will be election will be happening in this date, and then you do a regression and go back and give a clear cut guideline, so that what happens, IMF and World Bank, they will release their funds, because they will have some comfort. Okay, this is how this whole thing is going to shape up, and whoever is getting elected through a proper mechanism, they can rehold the next of the trajectory. And in the meantime, what happened in Bangladesh is various judicial system has been reshaped. Like in our last discussion, I remember I was talking about the court system that we have, and then CPC, you have to remember everything, and as a witness you have to tell them, as a plaintiff you have to tell the judge, then this happened, that happened, that didn't happen. And this is not doable for an illiterate person or semi-illiterate person, even for a very educated person, because you don't remember every bits and coins that happened 10 years back, because there is so many backlog in the court system that if you start a civil case, is going to end up after 10, 12 years. In the passage of time, it's swiped up from your brain. So justice delayed is justice denied. So what is happening right now, CPC has been rehauled, and you can submit the whatever statement you have in the paper. So that reform has taken place. At the same time, if we take a look, CRPC 73B, so there is an option that if you do some vexatious litigation, like you have charged somebody for abatement or murder, something like that, what will happen, a preliminary report will go to the police superintendent, and they can take a call as to what should be in the list and what should not be in the list. And if that functions properly, I think that will give a little bit breathing space in the legal system. At the same time, the legal system that is owned from the Dida then Pakistan, Dida then British period, this system needs to be rehauled, and this system needs to be rehauled in a manner so that it serves the purpose of the people. Because the superstructure, the government should not be ruler. They should be the aid to the civilian and taxpayers. So from that mode, like Mohodoy mode and lordship mode, we have to come out of it, and we have to be the public, like service provider mode. I think that time is being Gen Z, they are demanding it. That's why you will see the Gen Z, they don't like us that much. They said, like, you have made the whole system non-functioning, and it is high time that we wake up. We have a breach between the rest of the world, our education system, our bureaucratic system, our superstructure that is in place, our military defense system, that needs to be in line with the rest of the world, so that we can be one of the finest countries in the world.
Actually, thank you very much, sir. Then another question to both of you, sir, that after the victory, we are thinking that who is going to take the responsibility of the whole country? And suddenly we came to know that the Nobel laureate Dr. Muhammad Yunus, sir, he agreed to take the responsibility. That means to become the chief advisor of this interim government. So what do you think, sir? Why Dr. Muhammad Yunus, sir, agreed to take this responsibility? First you, sir.
Yeah, I think, thank you, Dr. Ramit. I haven't been asked this question by anybody. I have lots of students, and they're always asking actually what, why, and so. So I think, thank you for asking this question. And I was thinking about it, because among my peers, whenever we go for outing, people are always saying things like, why, what is his motive? So I pondered about it a little bit. So going back to the history, since 2009, actually, Dr. Yunus is someone who likes to work, who wants to be active, who wants to participate in everything. So he actually, probably he doesn't crave for power that much, or not like a normal person. But he tries to be active all the time. And during the previous government, what happens is all his ventures, they were stifled. So he was given lots of litigations. He didn't have enough opportunity to do open some social business there, or open a university there. Those things actually keeps it going. So, so during the last regime, he couldn't do those things. Yeah. And that is the reason actually he lost faith in Bangladesh, and actually he was attending conferences and doing overseas trip. He was keeping busy that way. And when students actually, they are young people, they understand the pulse. So when they thought that, okay, we actually did upheaval to root out the previous regime, but they actually didn't hanker after power themselves. That's what I feel. So they thought maybe, you know, this is someone whom we like, and we have seen that he is internationally acceptable. So they gave him the offer to come and join here. And Dr. Yunus actually, I remember back in 2009 or 8, he was actually trying to form a political party at that time. And right after the election, actually, he abandoned his effort because he actually came to realization that he's a man of action. He actually doesn't want any part in the power grabbing process. So at that point, actually, he stopped doing any political activity. So whatever activity he was doing, it was related to social business and things like that. So when student actually requested him to come, he thought twice at that time, because I saw news, and he told that actually my students, leaders, they had to over and over there to request him. So after they have requested him and enough, he thought that, okay, maybe here I can come and do some work. Maybe I can, just like his social business, this is something maybe he can be active on, maybe he can contribute. I think that's what motivated him. And you can disagree, but you can have some other things. But as long as he's active, I think his modus operandi is being operational. And that actually told his mind that he should come, made up his mind that he should come and join and head the interim government.
Thank you, sir. Now, what is your opinion, sir?
I can provide my opinions, but I'm not in a position to answer on behalf of him because I'm not authorized. And I don't know what's going on in his mind, what made him to take the helm of this transitory government. And then at the same time, it's a situational leadership demand, which is like everybody has a demand, and then they're looking up to him. It's very difficult. If I was given that opportunity, I would have thought twice. So he's the best person to answer. But as a citizen of Bangladesh, I have 2 cents from my view that might have allured him to take this position. See, if we take a look back as to his life, he comes of a business family. And then secondly, he is into academia. He's one of the 10th most powerful person, renowned person in the world. This is just my assessment. I may be right or wrong. And he's very important in global perspective, that I think Bangladesh should utilize him as long as he is up and running. So with that, I think it was a very good decision to select him as the interim government head. And there had been a couple of legal issues as to labor code. So initially, I had the opportunity to deal with the Dida then DG. So the day he was arriving, so there were some discontent that how this will be dealt. So we gave our opinion that this is doable and he can join properly. So my point is that if you take a look at his pulse, everything is business centric. So this country needs a leader who is business centric. So I think he's a proper fitment, but at the same time, it's like part of a cogwheel where you need different armaments. So which maybe whenever you are working, if you work, then there will be error. If you don't work, there won't be error. So there will be criticism and there will be pros and cons. I think we are lucky to have him, because think about if he was not there, what would have been done. So he fulfilled a very big void in this transition. I think this is my opinion.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Both of you mentioned about the Generation Z, and you told about your daughter, sir. So Generation Z basically demanded Dr. Muhammad Yunus to take this charge or to take this responsibility. So I would like to ask you, why Generation Z is choosing Dr. Muhammad Yunus at the same time? Do you think that Dr. Muhammad Yunus, sir, understands the pulse of Generation Z? You please, sir.
Again, that's $1 million question. Yeah. Beyond my pay grade. So I think he does. See, he is always connected with the universities. He is All of us, three of us, we are from academia background. So we interact with the new generation. And then from client perspective, we have younger client, we have like senior citizen client. So I think he is in a position that he's not only bureaucrat or he's not only into academia or pure businessman, profit motivated. Because he is thinking about 3 zeros. So if you can fulfill this 3 zeros concept, that zero employment, and then everything should be zero, carbon emission should be zero, and everything, that's like utopia. So the new generation, they are thinking, they are into a steep competition, you see, and these are COVID generations. COVID generations means they have a little bit, we do not have any counseling or those kind of things in place that we should help them, that okay, this is how you will interact. And the generation we are in, we were in the field, and our parents had to struggle to bring us back from the field and to sit us for education. But this generation, they don't have a mini playground, most of them, and they are into computers and whatnot. So they are risk averse. At the same time, they are thinking that the older generation, they have sucked this planet out and they have left the skull for us to live. So they have frustration. So if you do not discount it, if you don't give cognizance to these factors of them, and you have to make them understand, like you see, you have to make them understand, you need to educate them, you need to convince them, you have to be friend with them, and you have to counsel them, otherwise there will be a big burst here.
Thank you, sir. Sir, as you mentioned that he doesn't hanker after the power. I mean, so he's not doing the power politics. And recently, probably yesterday also, he told that the election will take place in January or February of the next year, 2026. So probably that was the demand of the Generation Z, the right of voting. So what do you think that are you going to have a new era in our country, having freedom of speech, freedom of choice, and freedom of voting? What do you think, sir?
Yeah, I think if the next government in some way steps on this boundary of free speech, people will actually react very sharply. Just today's news, I think I just read in Prothom Alo that there was some talk of shutting down internet for 1 minute, just for 1 minute. Why? Because people want to commemorate the last year's event. And when this news came out, everyone reacted very sharply. It was like an allergic reaction to people, because people actually experienced what it feels like to be muffled by the government. So just for 1 minute, no, people say, no, we don't. So the last year's event is actually a wake-up call and actually a good lesson for all people of Bangladesh. So no government in future, I think they will think twice about impinging on people's right, because people actually, especially Gen Z and others, they have showed actually what happens when people's basic rights are violated. So this should serve as a lesson, and usually the political parties, they agree on this, that people's rights should be protected and freedom of speech, they should be guaranteed. There is no rightly, maybe if the government and the structure, the judiciary, if everything is not reformed correctly, then there is a chance that here and there will be some infringement on people's rights. So I think if you ask whether there will be a violation of rights, maybe in a short way there will be a violation, in a small way there will be violations. But we think we should set up the state machinery in such a way that people are discouraged. The people who are in power, they are discouraged to impinge on other people's right. So I think lots of work, lots of state building, institution building needs to be done.
Thank you, sir. As you mentioned, the judiciary, sir, we have a representative from judiciary. Sir, what do you think that will this revolution improve our judicial system? As I know that in our judicial system is old enough, like there is no corporate judicial or banking judicial, something like this. So as a whole, what do you think, sir? This revolution, will it improve our judicial system?
Thank you so much, sir. I'm not into judiciary. Maybe I'll be part of the judiciary one day. So, to my understanding, you have rightly pointed out that, yeah, judiciary is quite staff frameworks are pretty old, and then we do not have specialized courts. Like if you have a corporate matter that will end up in the same judge court or honorable high court or supreme court in the same where specialized courts are absent. So are you asking that should we have a specialized
Yes,
court?
yes. I'm asking this question.
If we can afford, why not? Because what will happen, say for instance, you have a lot of NPLs, like non-performing loan cases, and then Mali loan suit cases, which are basically product cases which are emitting from banks and FIs. So if the judge or honorable judge or justice is from the banking sector with legal background, what will happen? The disposal will be a lot faster, and maybe it will be in a manner that we have small courts. I'm not telling that they will be working as a functioning as a small court, but they can have a mechanism, they can have a KPI, and they can have system in place where full judicial system will be transformed into electronic system, and then the judges will have, like, participants and judges, they can have access like other countries of the world. Even from your home you can uh, like participate in the court mechanism. If you do it, then what will happen? It will ease the burden that you have to appear in front of the court, and the judge, that whoever is handling your case, is totally aware of the banking system or ICT system or whatsoever complicated system is there. Then you file in that court, and they are expert in this part. AML matter, maybe he or she is a certified anti-money laundering specialist with legal background. So they know how the system operates, and they know the international covenants. They have ICA degree, and what they can do, they can frame it properly and throw it to the international channel to get back the money. They can activate the NCA and other apparatus in a way so that the stolen money can be recovered. At the same time, we do not have that much Chapter 11 and Chapter 3 provision like that of USA. So that may be enacted on. And this our government right now, what they have done is they have brought a couple of changes as to CRPC section 144, 45, and then, like, arbitrary curfew, etc., etc. So these are improvements, but this is not enough because things are moving fast. So you cannot have something which doesn't align with the international codes and international system. So you have to have the digitized system. You need to allow people to for it's a city of traffic. So a lot of people, they cannot appear in the court, but you can do a VC, video conferencing, and they can participate and they can ask leave petition and leave with the leave of the court. They can participate. Maybe there are a lot of hearings which happens ex parte, means the whoever is there, he is not present, he or she is not, or the entity is not present. Maybe they are absconding. If there is ex parte system, you can hear both the sides, because rule of law demands that you hear both the side and then you discharge your justice. I think it's high time we should think about it and frame it in accordance.
Thank you, sir. Now to the teacher of a university. Sir, I studied abroad, though my subject is a physical and mathematical science. But I studied law there. It was compulsory for us studying law in the university. But in Bangladesh, as far as I know, that for the engineering students or for science students, it is not at all compulsory. So as an academician, what do you think, sir? Should we make it compulsory in our country, studying law in the universities?
Yeah, actually, as you mentioned, because you studied abroad, and then you know that actually how much importance they play, they're placing on the young minds about the legal things, how to act legally, and how to catch people when they are acting illegally. So those systems are very important, because you don't want a revolution every year, right? Yes. Or every 2 years. I don't want a revolution. We want to live peacefully. We want to live with prosperity, with happiness. To live with prosperity, happiness, what we need is need a system of dispute resolution which are actually friendly or not aggressive or not non-violent means of dispute resolution, and also to let people know their rights. Recently, actually, I've been teaching professional ethics to the engineering students in my university, and I was appalled to see that actually they don't know their rights, because for the last 15 years they haven't voted. They don't know that how the law is being made. If I ask somebody how the law is being made, they don't know. Maybe the judges make it. No, the judges don't make. There is a system of making law through parliaments, and people elect parliamentarians. And so when the law is made, actually people are indirectly making those laws, right? That gives a lots of agency to the people, and people feel good about it. So when actually I'm actually depriving of someone's legal rights, I'm actually dehumanizing that person. So these kind of things, actually I saw that many students, most students, they actually didn't care, because in the last government these things were not emphasized at all. It's very important that students have a feel about the society, how they should know actually how the society works. This is especially important in Bangladesh, because I have been to the US and I saw that the people from a very little age, they know about law and things, because they all the time they hear about it on TV, on news, because the court proceedings most of the time, I'm sure you have seen Judge Judy or some other things, they are televised. So people know actually how arguments are being made in the court, and that you have to learn both sides of the history, to come to a decision. You cannot actually make someone guilty by charge. You have to have a proper hearing. Even if you feel that someone is guilty, you have to go to the court and you have to have someone defend him. So these are some basic things of a working good function of the society. And if people in the West, the children, they know because they have seen it from their society. In our countries, those things are not there. So I think it's very vital that people should know about social things like law. I think it's very important.
Thank you, sir. As you mentioned, that basically the parliament is the lawmaker or the law framers. Okay, sir. But if parliament itself is the problem, what we say in our country, "Shorsher bhitore bhut." So what do you think, sir? Should we reform this parliamentary system like this? Now they're telling about the PR, that means proportionate representations. So what do you think, sir? Whether this proportionate representation is right or not, or whether that in parliament there should be 2 or 3 types of parliamentarians, like, please explain it, if you can, as a lawyer, sir.
Again, this is beyond my limit. Just my opinion. Yes, you're rightly pointed out. To my opinion, it should be 2-tier parliament, upper house and lower house, or whatever form we call it. And then the parliamentary tier, I think there should be tier for specialized people, not by because you are a part of a small party and you need to be having some sort of seat over there. I think it's a political call, but at the same time, the expertise should be trumped over this sort of right. This is my opinion. So you have to include somebody who has basic education, basic norms, and then otherwise, if you go to the parliament, it will be just the old parliament was buttering XYZ people, and they were wasting our taxpayers' money. I think we need to move out from that old structure, and we have to have a functioning parliament in place. And on the same time, you were discussing about the educational front. And educational front, I think everybody has right to know the legal framework. So if the government, they make it compulsory that the teachers with some sort of legal academia or sort of legal degrees like LLB or something, they should be teaching law. That will be fantastic. Like US, during our MBA we studied West Business Law, and then faculty was a lawyer, an attorney. So maybe I think it's high time we should have a concrete structure, and we should change our MBAs and whatever degrees we have, and also in the lower classes, like the primary, secondary, and we study like the Islamiyat, whatever religion we have. So law is a religion to operate in the society. That should be added. And there is a disjoint between like the developed world and Bangladesh, and then Because what happens is here our attorneys, like the advocates, who is barristers who are going to the courts, you cannot do any job. Your only profession will be that. Then what happens is that creates a gap between industry and the legal profession. This is not there in US and most of the developed world. I think that should be gone away with. And then also, whoever is opting for a license exam, they have to be unemployed. They have to have a pupillage. They cannot do job, and you can sit for the exam. And then exam happens sometime in 2 years, sometime in 3 years. So these people are left alone. That's why a lot of people who has, like, I studied from University of London, my law degree. So they don't become part of the mainstream of the legal system because of this licensing system that is in place. And that licensing system should be like that of US and UK. This is more practical and should be critical questioning. And then you should not memorize only. Here you have to make section memorization, etc., etc., the code to passing the exam. They should come out of it because the world is evolving, and you have to harness, like, whoever has creativity, they should pass the exam. So these things, I think, it's high time that we should factor into our education, and we should rethink, step back, and then structure the whole thing so that our English medium students also gets integrated with this system. Like the English medium students, right now they're much better in some extent. They're studying in the WCSB accredited universities. But whenever they're coming for public exams, these are all old dated and outdated. So if you don't reform it, they will do fantastic in SAT, they will do fantastic in GMAT. But these sort of exams, if you do not benchmark it like that, then you are going to have the average people who will be running the society and then the superstructure, and you will have this kind of outcome.
Well, sir, we are basically at the end of our program. We don't have much time. One thing I should mention to both of you, sir, that many commissions has been formed during this interim government, like Police Reform Commission, like Constitution Reform Commission, like Judiciary Reforms Commission, but there is no Education Reform Commission. What do you think? Is it okay that there is no Education Reform Commission? Both of you, sir. This is the last question, sir. What do you think, sir?
Well, education needs to be revamped. I'll just give you an example that Bhola, they have 300 plus schools and colleges. So what are the outputs? I don't know. You don't know, because you are not producing lawyers, you are not producing CEC graduate, you are not producing plumbers, you are not producing electricians, you are not producing scientists, you are not producing healthcare experts, you are not producing nurses. So and then you have a religious educational program which is not integrated with the walk of life, and then people from the various parties. You see, he was rightly mentioning that they don't have legal education. Mob justice is happening, and people doesn't have awareness that they have right to arrest somebody. Our legal system permits that if you have a cognizable offense, civil people can arrest and put them to police or law enforcement agency, which they can later consider in under section 54 and CRPC various sections. So people doesn't have that awareness. What they do, somebody is stealing, they will make a video clip and they will put it on the net rather than catching that guy. And if you then in French there is called the Samaritan law, and then Bentham said, like, witnesses are the eyes and ears of the legal justice system. So they become witness, but they're not preventing it. It's not going to help. If somebody is drowning, you have to pull him up or out of that water. Otherwise, he or she is drowning and dying. So our culture has become that let's tape it. We will be fantastic witness, and let's put it in the net. So we have to come out of it. I think it's high time we educate them in terms of legal rights and Samaritan laws, that good behavior will pay you off. And if you do it, then what will they will do? They will react. They will stop that occurrence. So again, this is my view, and then I think government should step up.
Thank you, sir. Your opinion, sir?
I think it's a very high time to think about rethink education. We should not think education in terms of what happened 40 or 50 years ago when in Bangladesh famine was it was a common event. We should actually think of prospering. Just why I'm saying that is if you look at Germany, actually during Angela Merkel, one of the previous chancellors, she made a law that the teachers were the highest paid over there. So some people are questioning her. Why are the teachers highest paid? They're even higher paid than engineers. She has an answer. The answer is actually what the teachers are doing. Actually, they are producing lots of productive people. So if you don't feed the machine well, how can you expect good outputs, right? So that's why actually now you can see in the German education system is very highly rated, and they have very good economic as well social indicators, clean energy things like that. They actually top the world. And what we have done is we are actually, in some cases I found that people are actually still in the mentality that you have to actually give people money to buy food and give the money for the children. What I am saying is no, we should not just bypass the teachers or the adult. If you tailor a program, you tailor it for the adult as well, so that it benefits the adult, so that the adult will also pass the benefit to the young people. So the old mentality of 50 years ago, the famine mentality, I think we should come out of that, and we should empower people, especially the teachers, to make better citizens. That's my take on it.
Thank you very much, sir. So this is the end of our today's discussion. I think you enjoyed our discussion. Again, I repeat that our today's topic was July Revolution. So, dear audience, hope to see you in the next episode. Assalamu alaikum.